Hello again, my name is Adam Everett Miller and it's time for another tutorial on AE-TUTS Plus, because I think we've all gained a couple pounds after discovering After Effects, but that's okay. There's beauty in that. Here's what we're going to be, well, here's an example of the effect that we're going to be looking at today. I really need to see you tonight. Okay, this is cool. What do we got going on? This is like, it's like bursting into a bunch of little particles and then kind of distorting as if there's a turbulence field or something. Like, this is cool. Well, guys, believe it or not, you are going to be doing this even if you don't have Trapcode Particular, Form, or any of those other plugins. This is done all within base After Effects. Let's talk a little bit right here. Here's what we got going on. Well, let's just do this. Okay, we got a new composition, right? Projects, composition, all right. And square pixels, you guys create whatever size comp you want. I'm gonna leave that one up to you. That's a random card, okay? But you do have to create a new solid. No, you don't. I lied. Let's not even do that. This is such a great effect that you don't even have to create a new solid. You can just create text, all right? So I'm gonna write AE-TUTS in a better font than that. All right, let's pick something really quick. Gotta love this little process. That's fat, let's use that. Not fat as in pretty hot and tempting, but fat as in thick around the waist. All right, no, and white, and okay. And making it larger, let's take this and apply a filter or an effect and presets. I already have it half typed in here. Ball action. You know, playing with ball, I mean, I'm not, okay. Yeah, basketball sports, things like that. This is gonna be a fun tutorial. Let's apply it. Sweet, now it looks like we stuck it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. All right, what do we got going on here? Looks like we got some, it's kind of bubbling out a little bit, right? It's kind of interesting. Ball action, what it does is it takes whatever you layer in it, and it respects the alpha channels. It takes whatever layer you got, and it converts it into a bunch of balls. And we can take those balls and scatter them apart, which is kind of cool. Or we can take them and we can rotate them. Notice it's 3D. We're not dealing with 2D anymore. This isn't just a plane. This is the real deal. No joking after this point. And okay, that's a rotation. We have a twist, so we can kind of twist it, and now it's like twirly marshmallows. And we can change the spacing. So okay, now it's, you know, you can change if the balls are far apart or if they're close together, and then you can adjust the ball size. So if they're massively huge. And, well, okay, wow. Bad example right off the bat, huh? Let's change that back to 100. Sorry. Okay, let's scatter them, and then let's make the balls bigger. Okay, you can make them bigger. So they look like a bunch of, like, cells and stuff. Cells, interesting thought. We'll get back to that one. Okay, so this is the basic, I mean, oh, and then we have the instability state, which means that it'll just kind of add this randomnicity to the motion, okay? Well, it doesn't look like there's a lot here, right? I mean, what do we got? Okay, a couple drop downs. Okay, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, xy, xz, okay. Got the idea. And then twist properties. We have x, random center. Okay, now here we have some options. But as far as the amount of things we can do, I mean, these are just a couple, what, like 7, 8 values that we can be adjusting. But this plugin has so many options. I'm just gonna list a few, and then I'll go into more specifically what I did to create this particular effect. Not particular effect, this CC ball action effect. Well, okay, so and I guess, okay, a lot of people when they do the tutorials, they'll do like a specific effect, like, okay, this is how to make someone float in the air, or this is how to make someone's eye disappear or their hand catch on fire. Those are good, and I think I'm going to be doing more of those in the future. But for right now, I'm trying to do stuff that's easy. That just okay. If you don't have a nice camera, or maybe you're just shooting on something DV or whatever, you know what you can do that is just as legit as the high end, you know, big wigs in New York City. You can do a text-based animation or commercial. There's nothing that is keeping you from doing a high-end project, which I think is really, really cool. I mean, I'll go on TV and I'll watch something on a commercial about H&R Block or a cell phone commercial, and you know, to do something that has footage. I need to get back to the effect, but I'm just rambling for a second. To have a commercial that has video footage, okay, that's going to be limitations. You need a nice camera with a nice lens and editing software. With this, if you have After Effects, you can create a composition that is straight up HD. I can go all the way up here and create a full, huge composition, and I can work like this, and I can render like this, and I can deliver like this. When you're straight up working in After Effects, you're not limited to the format of camera that you are when you're dealing with footage. That is one of the biggest draws for me. I love that. That is so cool, especially if you're like a 16-year-old kid that's still in high school that doesn't have the money to go out and spend a lot of money, or spend a lot on a $80,000 camera. That's Adam like kind of preaching for a second, or kind of ranting and raving. Let's get back to this effect, shall we? Okay. AE Tuts, you can apply this to words. You can apply it to any kind of a layer. If you actually have a logo, you can do that. Let's bring the grid spacing down to 0, and let's bring the ball size to 200. Okay, so now you have a pretty filled in pretty filled in text. So you're not noticing the edges. I mean, obviously you can see a little bit of the bump on the outside, but for the most part, especially if it's going to be anything on web or whatever, most people aren't going to catch that. This is what's so cool. The fact that you can rotate this and you're actually dealing with, with a 3D rotation. I mean, After Effects and 3D, there's a lot of people that try to do it, and they'll use the shadow effect, or, they'll use like Invigorator or some of Zach's Works plugins. But if you just want to do something that just looks 3D, you got it right there, done. You've applied it in like 5 minutes. And what's so cool is there's a lot of different options as far as how you got, okay, so you can rotate. Well, now it's actually rotating the balls. That's kind of weird. It's leaving one there and then rotating the rest. I want you to go through and just play. Go down and play with each one of these. I haven't even played with them all yet. There's ones that like I have not played yet with blue, green, or red. You can do stuff that I haven't yet if you jump on and start playing with this. Look at that. How funky is that? Looks like I don't even know, like something that is funky. I mean, it's weird because it's like you don't even know. There's so many different options. Then what's cool, and this is all on the x-axis. Well, let's do this on the y-axis. Then you can rotate that way, and it's just going to continue to expand and distort. Keep in mind, this is all keyframeable. So I start here, I move forward 2 seconds, I crank this to 1. Now I can go from there and then back down to 0 again. All right, just reset. So then it's going to go there and back, there and back. All right? And so that's that. Okay, let's make it even more funky. Let's take another variable. Instead of just sticking with one axis, let's make it different, X and Z. So now it's getting fat and huge and weird. Okay, let's try another one. I'm just showing you that there's so many options with this, right? Crazy stuff. And it brings us right back. Okay. So how about, and I'm going to show you just a few of the options that I created in a moment. But let's get to the one that I created specifically, okay? With this, what I did is I went through and I created a few comps. I have black letters and white letters, okay? And I just did that so we can distinguish, so that it's not just all white that comes in is forming, so that there's a little bit like, oh, you have black and white mixing together, because that's always a healthy thing. And here you can't see it because it's on that, but there is there's those colors. But I just have them on black in it with an alpha channel. And so I had the words Everett and options and words pre-comp, which was AE tuts or whatever. So let's just take my first one right here. Okay, what am I doing? I start with it scattered. I start with the scatter at 22. Okay, and okay, actually, let me back up. This is another thing we're gonna throw into the mix. Okay, we got all this. This is cool as is. Okay, but getting rid of all my keyframes. Now let's take it and resetting this back down to 0. Let's do XY and let's do diamond, okay? And let's expand it a little bit, not diamond, rectangle or fast top. Okay, let's do that. Okay, then let's just increase the scatter so we get a little bit of a picture, okay? Check this out, new, camera. This is not a flat layer. This is actually, hitting C to rotate, you're actually dealing with 3D balls. Are you grasping this? Are you grasping the options with this? This is fully 3D. And you don't have to have your 3D turned on, obviously. This is the exact same as particular, guys. And so you scatter it even more. You want some stars, or what do you want? You want to do anything and just rotate in 3D space? Like, you're totally working in 3D here. And the render is insanely quick. And it's just cool. You're somewhat limited in the fact that, okay, you're always dealing with a ball, but that's because it's ball action. You know, there's some sacrifice you got to make. But what a cool way to actually be working in 3D so quickly. People don't. I've never seen anybody else use this effect before, so I think this is really cool. Okay, I'm already at 11, like 12 minutes, so I gotta hurry up and get back to some action here. So camera, we have options here. Let's get rid of that and go back to the first thing to explain it, and we'll go into some more things. Okay, so just so that you know, I have a camera here. Okay, with the camera, I always underestimate what I have to do. Okay, new camera, again, really quick to explain something that's been explained in other tutorials. But if I go and I set a keyframe here because I want to rotate around this, right? I set my point of interest, okay, and then I move forward 6 seconds, and then hitting C, I go to the rotate orbit tool, and I rotate all the way around it. Right now, what you're thinking is going to happen is you're going to go and then do a nice rotate around it. But what's actually going to happen is you're going to go through it, because the camera from the top, you can see, is going directly from point A to point B, and it's going to do a nice little flip right there. So if you're going to be rotating around something within After Effects, this is an effect. I think I got this from Andrew Kramer. I don't know. Create a new a new null object. Let me go back to the main view. Active camera. Okay. New null object. You can call it whatever you want to. I'm just going to leave it as null for right now. Take the camera and put it on the. I'm sorry. Wait. Undo that. Make it 3D first. Then parent the camera to the null. Okay. Then setting up the keyframes. We're going to set the rotation for this guy. I'm just going to keyframe everything for now, okay? Move it forward 4 seconds, and then instead of rotating that, hitting W to rotate, instead of rotating the camera itself, you're going to rotate this guy, the null, which is the camera's parented to, and now you're going to get an even rotation. And then looking at it from the top, you can see that camera being selected, it's just going to be rotating right with it because that is directly parented to the null. Catch what I'm saying? Then you're not dealing with going straight through because it's just, how does it know to go over there? It's just going to go straight to the next point. Okay, so that's another quick tip just to keep in mind here as we're doing this. So I have all of this. There's my controller that I use. There's my null object in the middle. Here's my camera right down here. Notice I have no keyframes. I'm hitting U. There's nothing there. There's no keyframes. All of it is being done by the controller, okay? And if I turn everything else off, well, I'm not going to turn everything else. I guess the camera, what I did is you notice this is the same action from here to there, and then this, I'm actually rotating around. If I go to the top view, that was the left view. I'll go top view. Okay. Look at where the camera is moving. The camera is moving around quite a bit, and that plays a factor in here, or plays in a factor. What am I saying? that plays a role. There it is, in how this looks. So switching back to active camera, I rotate it, and I'm starting at a high value. It's scattered and it's distorted, and then I bring the value back down to 0. Okay, and then I'm going to, I just did a little slow-mo right there, right? And I continue to distort. Then I'm going to expand it again and increase the shatter, or the scatter. So notice my keyframes here. The twist angle, the amount in which it's twisting, that's not too extreme right now. Only plus 62, and then here it's minus 39. So there's not a ton, but that's kind of just to create a slow motion feel. And then I'm going to expand it out. Let me just take out the camera for a second so you can see what's actually happening here, like in real life. All that's going on is I'm rotating it, and it's coming together like that, and then rotating it. As I then rotate all the way up to there, I'm fading in the other one. Okay, remember that this starts at a value that's pretty, it starts at an extreme value and then comes down to a value of pretty much 0. And then it goes back into the extreme value, like extremely twisted. Well, the next one that I have is, I believe, Everett. The next one, I'm picking it up right there. I'm going to lower the opacity, and I'm picking it up so that as the next one fades out, it's going to slowly fade in as that one fades in, as that one fades out, and then it does the exact same thing. Goes down, and then slowly goes back up to an extreme value. All that we're doing here is just fading the particles in and out. Because when you're dealing with a lot, you can kind of cheat. That's really the only way that you can transition from one to the next, is fading in and then fading out, right? And then that one goes down to solid. So how do we really cheat it? Because there you can tell that I'm fading particles in and out right there, right? So when we throw the camera on there, then I come at a sideways angle. I raise the camera up above it so that it's kind of sideways, and it distracts and it hides. You can still see a little bit there, it appearing slowly, but with the movement, you're not going to see it. There's tons of ways that you can do this. I don't tend to be the guy that tells you step by step how to do everything with the exact values, because I want you guys to create your own sort of thing. I hope with the information I'm giving, you can figure out the rest. Maybe I should be more step by step. I just don't want to be insulting a little bit. And I want you to not just plug in values and numbers and hope that it looks good, because if you just know how to, if you're just doing that, I've done so many tutorials when I was first learning After Effects that I just plugged in numbers, and then something would go wrong and I didn't understand what was happening. So I want you guys, as you're doing this, to understand what's actually going on so that you know how to fix it, okay? So that's one. Here's another one that I just did. Okay, so that's pretty much the effect that is there. I add a little bit of a texture, just a grungy texture in the background. But another thing that we can do with ball action. Okay, I applied fractal noise. Okay, and let's make this. Okay, basic is good. I had seen this example elsewhere, but I'm just going to show you a brief thing that we can do. Change the noise type to block, the complexity down to 1. Okay, so now you're dealing with solid blocks, right? Then apply colorama. It's just going to add some. You can do whatever you want to do as far as how you color it. You can choose your colors. Get rid of whatever you want and just have certain colors in there. But apply colorama, because that will color a grayscale. And then lastly, when you apply CC ball action, take the grid, and let's take the ball size down considerably. Okay. And then you can adjust the grid. Well, now when you rotate on the x-axis, undo. When you rotate, you're on the x-axis, and the twist, you twist, and you're going to end up with some kind of cool DNA looking stuff. You color that correctly, and you apply this to the right size layer. I just applied it to a whole solid. But if you apply this to the right size layer, let me just draw a mask really quick. Maybe that'll kind of kill it. Okay, maybe one more. Okay, now when you apply this, you got a pretty cool DNA strand, right? And then once you've distorted enough, now you can just rotate it. you can make the composition huge, make it big, and now you have yourself some strands of DNA that you can have going in the background. Very, very cool. Here's what I did for you guys. Last night, I want to show you just how easy this is. Okay, last night what I did is I'm at the office right now. I was at my home computer and I conceptualized, that's a big word, as if I'm talented at what I do. No, I just sat down and I said, okay, how many different things can I come up with really quick? So let's type in AE Tuts and let's just apply some different filters. Okay, you're gonna find here to download, I believe, if you look, you're gonna see a download presets. I've created a couple presets. I literally threw these together in about an hour. I just went and saw, okay, what are some of the options that I can do here? And so I came up with a couple of them. Go right click down, download the folder, and then go into your C drive. If you're on a Mac, you should learn how to find it. It'll be relatively easy. Go to your program files, C drive, program files. Go to Adobe, go to After Effects, go to support files and presets, okay? And then just drag it and paste AE Tuts Plus right in there, okay? And in that you'll see CC ball action. Hopefully we can be coming up with some more presets for you to use for other plugins. But CC ball action, paste it right in there, and then you should have it to work with, okay? So then when you go over here to effect, you might need to restart After Effects, but when you come over here, you twirl down the animation presets, go to presets, and then there it is, AE Tuts Plus, okay? Drop down, CC ball. I've created these. I created these within about an hour. I want you guys to create some. I would love to get some of your ideas. I'd love to see some other stuff that you guys can do. But here are just a couple that I want to explain. Ants. Let's drag that on. Okay, what is this? Let's do a little RAM preview of it really quick and take a look at what's going on. It kind of creates, it looks like there's some little ants moving around. I thought that looked kind of cool. And all that is, you can see here, is I just slightly separated the scatter to 2.5, and then I keyframe the instability right here from 0 to like 10, pretty much. So that it's just the scatter thing just slightly moves a little bit, and I thought that looked kind of cool. Okay, that's number one, and it can do the same thing over here. Let's go to distort. Okay, and this is the exact same keyframes as what I use for the sample video there. I just had a camera and I rotated on top of it, right? So I just created a new camera and hitting C to do the orbit tool. I just went up there when I did my transitions from one to the next. All right. So that's another one. Get rid of that, and okay, that's distort. Let's go to dot bend. This is another cool one. This is a cool way to hold on, let me start that at the very beginning. This is another cool one that you can do as a transition from one to the next. Distort dot bend. Okay, you can start here, and you can kind of see. Okay, it goes back down to 0. There's AE Tuts, right? Well, as it distorts, if you line up, apply this to 2 layers, and line up, just find one where it's maybe directly facing it. Okay, and then distort another layer to that same amount where it's right there, and then in the motion you're going to be able to transition between the two. Okay, right to there in the transition. There's another one. Let's just keep going down the line. Explode. This was kind of just a random fun one. It goes and it'll just kind of explode and then eventually disintegrate. 1, 2, 3, and bam. Okay, pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's apply fishy. I was just goofing around. Let me do a shift RAM preview. I was like, all right, well, I wonder if I can make this look like it's kind of swimming around a little bit. I was just goofing off and having fun. This is just kind of a, an overview of this, just kind of almost maybe an introduction to this effect. I'm excited to see what some of you guys come up with. What do we got here? Rubber twist. I'll let you guys go through and continue to go through all these, but download them, apply them. This is another cool one. Moving through space. You don't need to have particular to do this, and it renders extremely fast, and just looks really, really cool. So that's basically the gist of the effect. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know this wasn't as step-by-step exact as possible. This is more of an introduction and just, yo, play around. Let's see what you guys can come up with. Hope you enjoy it. All right, this is Adam Everett Miller with AE Tuts Plus. I hope you guys have a stellar day. Bye.